Hey everyone, this is MusicTechHelpGuy, and in this video I want to show you a cool trick that I like to use to create some ambient warped reverb textures for sound design and synthesis using Space Designer in Logic Pro. So to start, I have this section of a beat here I'm working on, and I want to add sort of like a piano melodic idea to this. But I want the piano to have sort of a warped ambient texture. I want something more interesting than just a piano. So I'll start by creating a new software instrument track. I'll just load up one of Logic's piano patches. I'll go ahead and use the Steinway grand piano, but you can use any instrument you like. And I'll create a quick pattern region here, a quick musical idea. Now I'm in the key of C minor. So I'm going to choose a C minor template here. So I can just have all notes in C minor. Maybe something like that. And I'll press Shift Option up to move this up an octave. It's a little fast, so I'll put this on an eighth note instead. And I'll just repeat that out a few times. Okay, so those are just the notes. Let's focus on the sound design. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add Space Designer to this piano. So I'll just load up Reverb, Space Designer, Stereo. And one of the really cool things about Space Designer is that it's actually a convolution reverb, which means that each of the impulse responses that are loaded into Space Designer that create the individual spaces that you can use for reverb in Space Designer are actually sampled from real-life spaces. They're impulse responses created from real-life spaces. So you can actually drag and drop any impulse response file into Space Designer and it'll create a custom reverb. But impulse response files are just wave files, so you can actually drag any wave file into Space Designer and create a new effect. So I'm just going to solo the track that I'm on here, and I'm going to search up Ghostly or Ghost. I want some sort of ambient loops and samples to work with. So you can drag any audio file into Space Designer and it'll create a custom impulse response for it. Now, one thing you'll notice is that every single piano note is going to trigger the impulse response to play. So you may want to play around with the volume envelope here to add an element of decay to it, or maybe even the filter envelope to add some decay from the filter. So I think that one's a bit much, so let's try a different one. I'll try the synth ARP loop. Let's try dragging that in, and I'll just sort of fade it out like I did the other one, and filter it as well. Now it's completely up to you what wet-dry balance you want and what loop or sample you drag in, so experiment with different loops and samples until you find something that you like. I find that you can get some really interesting textures this way that you can't really get from any other reverb plugin or any other synthesizer. Another thing I find helpful, especially if you find the reverb a bit too resonant, is you can set the quality to lo-fi, and this will soften the effect quite a bit. Now, a more effective way to use this Space Designer warped reverb effect is probably to put it on an auxiliary channel strip and bus over to it. That way I can separate the wet and dry signal. So what I'm going to do is create a new auxiliary channel strip, and I'll just call this Verb Effects. And then I'll pull the Space Designer plugin over to that Aux channel. I'll set its input to bus 2. And you can see I actually already have another reverb on bus 1 here. This is just a traditional reverb effect. And then I've got my effects reverb here on bus 2. I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to make sure that the dry signal is set to mute and the wet signal is pulled up, because I want to separate the dry signal over here from the wet signal over here. Now I'm actually going to use both the reverb on bus 1 as well as my reverb effect on bus 2. So I'm going to go to my sends here, create a bus send over to bus 1, and I'll create another over to bus 2. And then you can blend these just by using the reverb amount here. So let's just solo these and see what this all sounds like together. And there was also a synth pad in this section. I'll unmute that and let's see what that all sounds like together. Again, all of this was created just by dragging and dropping a sample or loop into Space Designer. And just for example, I'll try out another one. I've got this synth ARP up here. This is from the Sylenth instrument. It sounds like this on its own with just a touch of reverb. I'm going to add Space Designer to this, and I'm going to drop in another sample. So here's this one called Eternal Flame Ambient Synth. Let's drop that in, add a bit of a volume decay as well as a filter decay. I'll go ahead and put this in lo-fi mode and blend the wet and dry signal. Let's see what this sounds like. I just love doing this because you can just keep dragging and dropping in loops and samples until you find an idea that you really like. You find a texture or a tone that you really like. And some definitely sound better than others. It really helps if the loop or sample that you're using is in the same key as your song, because then sort of tonally they match up. And this even works with MIDI loops as well. It'll actually render any MIDI as audio when you drag them into Space Designer. Yeah, that one's really cool. And, you know, the other thing about this too is if you like the reverb effect that you've created more than the dry signal, you can actually just completely pull out and mute the dry signal and just use the reverb effect alone. Let's see what that sounds like all together. So that's how you can use Space Designer to create your own custom warped reverb effects for sound design and synthesis. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. As always, thank you for the support and thanks for watching.